If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been feeling the slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast just got faster.
For Paul Catalina's Top 5, brought to you by Texas Beef House. Where's the best beef in Texas? Your house when you order from Texas Beef House. Unleash the flavor of Texas raised Wagyu. From our pasture to your plate, TexasBeefHouse.com.
Welcome in. I hope you enjoyed week 1 of the college football season. And that's why today's Texas Beef House, Paul Catalina's Top 5, is my week 1 thoughts. Of course, use promo code 365sports at checkout. Jack McKenzie and I want a bid. There is beef on the way. So now I can look at my family and say, I've done something now. Have you ever won a beef auction? No. There you go. Not that it's impossible to do so. It's not like any kind of feat of strength or anything. It was just persistence and patience and adherence to our love of high-quality Wagyu beef that Texas Beef House provides. So that is about as enthusiastic commercials I can give for anybody. I'll tell you that right now, because we do love TexasBeefHouse.com and BidOnBeef.com. So let's get into the week 1 thoughts. Number 5, if you please. Cam Ward has flipped the ACC to Miami. Right now, there's not another quarterback in the league that's on his level. Now, we'll see how things progress week to week. I'm not ready to give Miami the crown just yet, but given their schedule, and that is very favorable for them this year, they have some tough games, but this was one of the toughest places to play in the entire country, and they had no problems all game long. Florida was never in it, and due in large part to the fact that Cam Ward has changed a moribund offense into something that is wide open and fun, and Shannon Dawson is no longer afraid of his own shadow, and they're going to be able to do things. And Florida State and Miami were in it all the way to the end for Cam Ward. Miami was the place he wanted to go. Florida State settled on DJU, and I do think that this is the swing player of this league this year. Very likely. Now, we'll see what happens. It's only 1 week. Other coaches will watch film and figure it out. But so far, whoa on Cam Ward. This was a great pickup for them. And I've been saying this the entire offseason of, crap, Miami's got Cam Ward now. They finally have a quarterback that other people want for the first time in 20 years. And it's come back to bite everybody in the butt that was kicking dirt on Miami's grave. Number 4, Joey McGuire needed a stiff drink. I have never seen that man that tense. They held off what would have been a cataclysmic loss to ACU. He has not been great early in seasons there at Tech. They take time to build momentum. But giving up 51 points to, albeit a really good FCS team, is not something you need to do. They've got to get their defense right in a hurry. And right now, they've got coaches all around the country that have Tech on their schedule making notes on the things that ACU did to expose those Texas Tech weaknesses. Now, to Tech's credit, a lot of teams, lesser teams, would have lost that game. Would have let the moment get too big for them and lost that game. They did not, but that was in no way good news all the way around for Tech to start out the season. And, you know, Joey's going to probably have to ride the roller coaster a little bit, but he definitely needed a stiff drink after that one. He was as nervous, puckered up, tense, whatever you want to say, as I've ever seen him at that game, and rightfully so. It should have never been that way, but credit to ACU for a great game plan and playing with a ton of emotion. Number 3, Billy Napier probably doesn't make the turn. When I say the turn, look, there are 12 games, so 6 would be the turn. If he makes it through 6 or 7 games, then maybe they've got an uptick, but the vibe around that program right now, they had a player the other day, Instagramming or TikToking or something, F this team with a middle finger. They've got chemistry problems. They've got roster problems. It starts from the top down. Billy Napier, probably not the guy that they thought he was going to be when they made this hire. I thought it was a good hire at the time, but clearly nothing's working out. It's not that they lost to Miami. Miami punched them in the mouth over and over and over again at the Swamp. They don't lose like that at the Swamp. That's not what happens at the Swamp. Yeah, you may lose games there, but you don't get blown out. And Cam Ward, Damian Martinez, Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, all of them just ripped him a new one. And Miami's defense had that old school Miami defense swagger. The Gators had nothing. I mean, they had nothing. I mean, this might be as bland as I've ever seen them. I like the hire of Billy Napier. I think he'll probably be successful somewhere else, but this is probably not a fit right now, and I don't know if he makes the turn after 6 games or not, or if they need to let him go and try to keep – they've got some good recruits coming in, but, again, you've got to keep DJ Lagway there. You've got to keep some of these good recruits that you keep signing in. If it's about NIL and all that other stuff, then – it can be about a different guy, and I would not be surprised to see if they make a coaching change just to excite some of those good recruits, the 4 and 5 stars they have coming in. That has not translated for him yet. Number 2, Danton Lynn is the DC hire of the offseason. Am I overreacting to one game? No. You know why? I have 5 years of Alex Grinch proof on Lincoln Riley coach teams. Never once in 5 years did I see a defensive game plan like that. Not only that, they showed how big he was on getting these guys from dough balls into granite, and they're tougher, they're bigger, they're stronger. Mason Cobb, who came in from Oklahoma State, fits that plan really well. He's a stud for them. They have not had defensive legit studs in a couple years at USC. I'm sure Caleb Williams was watching that game last night going, the hell, bro? You make 5 more tackles from me and we're probably hoisting a trophy. But no, yeah, that's how I would feel. That's how I would feel if I were Caleb Williams. All it took was hiring this guy? That's all you had to do? You didn't have to they didn't have to change personnel. They just had to feed them differently. Are you nuts? What's going on here? Danton Lynn, the hire of the offseason as far as defensive coordinators go. I don't know on offensive coordinators yet because most of the good games we saw were not the array of touchdowns you would say from a new offensive coordinator, or if you saw an array of touchdowns, they were against a team you should have had an array of touchdowns against. And finally, number 1. I thought that motion would be cool, and it didn't work. There it goes. Dabo hasn't learned. Oh, Dabo, Dabo, Dabo. It's not about having 40 transfers. It's about having 7 to 12 transfers that fill the spots that are going to be there on your roster anyway. Georgia took 12 transfers last year, and London Humphreys was one of them. He scored a touchdown against you. Colby Young was one of them. He scored a touchdown against you. Cash Jones was one of them. He's also in that club. He scored a touchdown against you. One of the differences in that game, not the only difference, it was a stark difference, mind you, was that Georgia fills their holes with veterans. Clemson, still doing it the way that they used to do it, even though all the rules have changed. Man, like, Uno changes the rules all the time. You're not going to win at Uno now if you keep playing 1987 Uno. You got to play 2024 Uno. And I apologize for that metaphor, but it's the first thing I came up with. He's got to change. The other thing is the high school recruiting, which he's only exclusively doing. Compared to him in Georgia, there's a gap now where just 5 years ago, no gap. Now, Georgia has lapped him. Maybe twice when it comes to high school talent. That is more than evident because his high school recruits and their high school recruits are not even in the same ballpark right now, and that is not something old Clemson could have said. Old Clemson could have been like, well, our guys and their guys are about the same because, one went there, one went here. That's not the case anymore, and Dabo hasn't learned. Those are my Week 1 thoughts. We're wrapping it up right now.